Thank you for attending our presentation on student-driven modules for macroeconomics classes, lessons from the Fed Challenge. Today, 3 of us will present, each one presenting a different module. I am Cynthia Bansak from St. Lawrence University. We also have Julie Smith from Lafayette College and Christine Storrie from SUNY Oneonta. Next slide. Today, we will describe 3 student-driven learning exercises developed from our respective College Fed Challenge courses. We've modified them for application to a wide range of macroeconomics courses. They typically take part of 2 to 3 class periods, and they give students experience in learning through teaching, preparation, and leadership. Next slide. We have seen positive outcomes of the exercises that we will be presenting today. We observe that students develop a deeper understanding of data sources, economic theory, monetary policy, and honing presentation, data analytics, and teamwork skills. Students feel prepared for their careers and graduate school. Employers and alumni stress the importance of the skills acquired in these modules. So today we want to share what we believe are easy to implement versions of 3 modules.
The first module is Pick a Policymaker. This module has 6 steps. First, we need to survey students about past economics courses, their future interest, and some demographic characteristics to help the instructor form groups. Once those groups are formed, each group will be provided with a policymaker cluster. This will allow the students to choose which policymaker to follow over the course of the semester. These clusters are meant to show the diversity of policymakers who make up the Federal Open Market Committee, either as governors at the Board of Governors or bank presidents. The third step is to distribute the 3 assignments over the course of the semester. There will be 2 individual assignments and 1 group assignment. Next slide. The first assignment is to write a bio of the policymaker. This allows the student to learn more about the education, work history, position of the policymaker that they are following. This will also allow them to understand the different paths policymakers have taken to get where they are. Next slide. Step 5 is to look at 2 recent speeches and to write an essay describing what the policymaker discusses and finding the main message in the speech. The students are then also asked to describe the current state of the U.S. economy and the current stance of U.S. monetary policy as seen from their policymakers' perspective. The third assignment is a group assignment where students will work in their cluster to contribute to a chart about the important information that they've gathered from the first assignment and the second assignment. They will discuss their policymakers' views on monetary policy and work as a group to reach a consensus on the issue that is currently the most pressing for the Fed. Next slide. This chart provides a way for students to synthesize the information of all 3 policymakers so that they can understand the diversity of policymakers and also the diverse issues that policymakers care about. Next slide.
Thank you. In the second module, Major Debates in Monetary Policy, students start by completing a Think, Pair, Share exercise to list key macroeconomic issues to track and present in small groups to the entire class. So in step 1, the exercise starts with the Think portion, where students are given several minutes to list ideas that they have to answer the following question. Next slide. The question is, what debates in the economy should students track in order to give an update of the current state of the economy and to give a recommendation for monetary policy? In the pair portion, students are randomly paired with a partner and they discuss their ideas for several minutes. That's in the lower part of the worksheet on the left. They're asked to check any ideas that they both have written down, and they're asked to record their top 5 debates to track during the semester. In the share portion, students share their ideas with the entire group. After the session is completed, we type up or write on the board a list of the top choices of the class and distribute the debates to groups based on their interest. Next slide. In the second step, the groups start tracking their top choice, their top debate. They pick a team name, they schedule meetings to work together for several weeks before they give 2 presentations. Next slide. In step 3, they give a 5-minute initial presentation to the class with original charts and key concepts related to their debate. To prepare, students are asked to give updates during each class period and are given time in class to work with each other and to ask the instructor for help. Next slide. In step 4, it's the second and final presentation, a 10-minute presentation where students add academic sources and explain the current state of the debate, including arguments and counter arguments. Past topics have included monetary policy rules, inflation, expectations, climate change, income inequality, and R-star. In this final presentation, students use suggested discussion methods and have significant time for a question and answer session. This presentation builds on the first presentation and is expected to include the current academic research, a formal rehearsed presentation, and a slide deck. In the last step, step 5, students are expected to ask questions and give peer feedback and to reflect. We have provided here a peer review score sheet to help you with this assessment. Thank you.
And in the final module, I call Fun with Fred, students work on 2 assignments throughout the semester, and these are also modified from the Fed Challenge courses, and they can be modified for either the intermediate or the principles level macro classes. So the first assignment I call Fun with Fred Dashboard, and that highlights current economic conditions using the widgets made from Fred. And then the second one is called Fun with Fred Graphs. And this is a hands-on activity where students learn to create graphs. They can combine data sets. They modify the time period, transform the units of measurement, and then can change the graph type and modify the format. So the first assignment is the Fun with Fred dashboard. And this is just an example of what the assignment would look like. And this one is for the intermediate level. And students create the dashboard, and I can be happy to show you how to actually create the dashboards. It's fairly simple. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or any of the assignments. And so for the intermediate course, they would have to come up with at least 20 widgets. You could do up to 30, and then they would have to pick from the following categories. Then there's some discussion questions for that. For the principals level, then they can pick one of those categories to highlight the dashboard. And this is just an example of what one of the dashboards might look like that the students have created. The next assignment is Fun with Fred Graphs. In this assignment, I have 2 ways of doing this. Is in the introductory courses, it's not quite as student driven, but they still get to choose from a list of data and topics that they want to research. And then they can create the graphs and answer questions based on their particular topics. In the intermediate course, it's a mini or a mock Fed Challenge presentation. So it's a pared down version of that presentation. And groups, they work in groups and they present 10-minute presentations in groups of 4 to 5, depending on your class size. And this can pair well with different class sizes. And these are some of the examples that can be done in either of the courses, in either of the assignments. So they were able to combine the graphs here, and they also would write some research or based on some questions that they would follow. And then here's another example of some of the work that students have done in past semesters. So I'm now going to turn it back over to Julie.
Thank you for listening to our presentation. We're happy to answer any questions or share these assignments with you. You can contact us at our email addresses. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so